I brushed the surface, and this looks like a piece of jewelry. Day 8. No ground shifting here today at the tear out site because it is the weekend, so they're not working. So I'm just going to go over some of the areas where I found some stuff the other day. Walking around, just got a surface find, another old 4-hole button. It was right next to a pull tab that I already put in my pouch. Might not film a lot today. It is super windy, so I'll probably only film the really good stuff. It was just last night that those terrible tornadoes went through London, Kentucky and the surrounding areas, and that's only a few hours from here. So it is still really, really windy from those storms coming through. And if I find anything else, I'll let you guys know. It's only been a couple minutes right there, just under the surface. Got my first coin, so I'm glad to pull one of these out already. There's still stuff here. 1961D copper cent, missed weedy by a few years. And the rain is going to help moisten up the soil a little bit because it's so compact. So we had a lot of real heavy rain for like 3 hours last night. And it's going to help show me where the low points are too. As you can see, the water pulling in certain areas may give me more information today of where to spend some more time looking. So I'll get back at it. Hopefully we can find something good. I'm not sure if they scraped some dirt off the top and this is an old coin spill or if this is just incidental, but this is right where I just pulled that 1961 penny. I still had a signal about 3 inches up that rang in similar, and I covered it right there. It's another penny. So let's see if these are similar ages. Well, I can't see the date on that one. Let me clean it up. That one's a little bit newer, 1973. By far the closest proximity I've found to coins at this site. They're usually pretty spread out. And by the way, I'm hunting what would have been the outfield of the old baseball field. They definitely scraped a lot more soil here, which is why I was finding a lot more wheat pennies and semi-old coins over this way yesterday. But today I'm focusing down this way, and I'm going to work my way up there. Most of the days I've come here, I'm like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to swing as much as I can before the ground changes. But like I said, on the weekends I can take a deep breath because they're not working and hunt it thorough because I got a lot of stuff yesterday, and now it's just trying to comb the areas that I didn't hit, and I'm taking my time. I'm swinging real slow today. Another coin, just a few minutes later. Seems to be the story of a lot of the coins in this area. 1964, a lot in those 1960s years, give or take a decade. Okay, I think I might have something good here, but to show you all real quick, I just picked these up off the surface too. Sometimes I just see them. These are the semi-old pull tabs, mostly from around like the 1970s and 80s around in there. I literally, this section of the field, or this property I should say, they're littered everywhere, and which makes sense. A baseball field, you find a lot of the old pull tabs from drinks and stuff like that. I'm trying to skip them, but if they sound like a nickel or I see them on the surface, I pick them up. It saves me from when they shift it around, I don't have to find them again. I do dig some of them if the signal sounds decent enough, but if I'm almost 100% certain it's a pull tab, I am ignoring them for now. But anyway, I got one that sounded more solid like a nickel, and I brushed the surface, and this looks like a piece of jewelry. And the way it rang in, that would be awesome if it's gold. It rang up the right way, but you never know with this type of stuff. Oh, this is really compacted. So let me be careful with this and try to get under it. What do we have here? It appears to be a pendant. I'm gonna say by looking at this, this looks more on the costume jewelry side. I don't think this is gonna be anything real. But I haven't really found much jewelry at this tear out, so that's pretty cool. I found that brooch earlier in the series, and maybe in a couple really junky kids rings that were vintage, and yeah, not much jewelry out of here. So that's pretty cool. I'll clean it up later, and we'll see what it is, but a unique find. Well, you could see how that jewelry was embedded right in the surface. I think the dozer must have scraped it. I went up further and had a similar signal. I think this is another piece of it. You know what? Now that I think about it, now that there's another piece of this, I think it's a charm bracelet that was hit by the excavator and got sent flying everywhere. Pretty interesting anyway. I'll see if there's any other pieces to it. That appears to be the case about 6 inches away. I think I got, yeah, the most significant portion of it. This would have been a really nice bracelet before the excavator hit it. But it is still really, really cool. It is a hefty one too. It weighs quite a bit, so it's pretty solid. It rings up low, so I don't think it's silver, but let me run over this and just see. Yeah, it rings in a low tone, right around nickel notch, so if anything it would be, you know, either junk or gold, and I think you can see some stuff wearing through by the clasp. So yeah, like I said, it's probably just really nicer costume jewelry that's on the nicer end. It's got little stones in it, and this is probably cut glass here, but higher end costume jewelry, that's what I'm thinking, but still pretty cool. I am in a little hot spot for targets. That's where I just dug the biggest chunk of that bracelet. Came over about not even 2 feet. Had a coin signal right down here in the excavator tracks. And this one looks pretty crusty. I think this one's going to be a wheat cent. Yeah, I can't see the memorial on the back, so I'm almost certain this one's going to be a wheat penny. Yeah, it is. I have it, its face is that way right there. And that's Lincoln, and there's the wheat ears on the side. All right, oldest coin so far today. I'm actually finding a lot more than I thought I was going to. I'm gonna stick it out in this section. I'm a little bit out from where second base would have been. I came closer over to the field. I never really found much in this section before, except for, you know, some 60s coins and like 1 wheat around the fence line there. And right here, I had a signal that came in 80, which is a little bit lower than a penny normally does. But it sounded good. I thought, oh, well, maybe it's a bottle cap, but it could be a coin. And I got something really interesting. It's a penny that's been clipped or cut. That is really interesting, and I think the date is 1946. So it is a wheat cent. That's a super unique find. I like oddball stuff like that. Very interesting. Never seen one cut quite like that one. Sorry if it's a bit windy, I'm trying to block it, but look at that little beauty right here. I have no idea if the rain uncovered some of these, but I wasn't in this section much yesterday. But I'm definitely pulling a lot of pull tabs off the surface. You can tell the soil definitely washed away from some of the fines. Look at that little beauty perched right on top. That is a nice vintage marble right there. Nothing good about the last 10 minutes. I worked closer to the side wing of the school now and got a signal coming in right around 80, almost right on top. Didn't have to dig it. I got a copper cent. It's just a memorial cent, but the relief is definitely high on that one. Oh, I think I can see the year on it here. I think it's 1966. Anyway, I think it's in the 60s. I think that last penny was 1968, not 66. I'm still here on the side wing of the school. You can see where they started tearing away the topsoil here and went down. The first target I ever found when I started this tear out was right there where they cut out like 2 feet. The first find I made without even using the detector, I eyeballed it. It was that brittle old flat button right when the video started. It was right around there. So I've kind of come full circle. I had a pretty good signal here. I had to go down a ways into this softer soil. There's still some topsoil here. Went like 4 inches down in the softer soil there, and I got another 1968 penny. So yeah, they churned up a few things. They dug enough away here where you can get some other targets. So that other one was like right here. So I'm gonna swing in this lumpy area a little bit more. I decided to come up on top of the piles to see if the rain has washed anything. This is where I found the horseshoe the other day. And I saw something from the bottom sitting right on the top. It was upside down and I pushed some dirt off of it. It's actually pretty old. Looks like some sort of like stoneware. I don't know if that it's too thick to be a cup. It had to have been sort of like a jug or a, who knows, could it even have been a vase? I don't know. Based on the bottom though, I'd say this was some kind of jug or something, but old blue stoneware. You can see that stoneware is marked USA on the bottom. This would have been from the same time period as this vase that I purchased a while back. This is a 1940s McCoy. You can see it stamped on the bottom there. A little bit hard to see. And I like how the glaze just kind of comes to an organic stop at the bottom. They didn't put too much care into the precision of it. I originally had this for sale in my booth, but decided to keep it after it didn't sell. It's a very unique piece of mid-1900s pottery, and I like it, but that's very similar to what this would have been. The rain has definitely helped to bring the signals out. I came back into the area where all of the asphalt from the basketball court and all the other material has been really compacted by the excavator. I didn't really find hardly anything over here the other day, and I got a beautiful signal down here, down in that. The type of signal that could be a silver dime, but it's still really hard. I'm gonna have to really try to chip at this, but I'm gonna get down to it and we'll see what we have. There's no way I'll be able to do this live. Thankfully, this wasn't that difficult. I was able to get down in where the excavator tread is and pop up under the chunk and lift it up, even though it's compacted in one heavy piece, and I'm down at the signal. It seems pretty concise, so hopefully this is a coin. Ringing really good. It is a coin, but it is not a silver dime. It is a penny. One ringing better than some of the other ones. It's 1965. It's only been a minute. I got a signal that I thought might be a pull tab, but it sounded very close to a nickel and it was coming in solid, so I'm like, I'll dig it out of the hard pack. And I have something that I think is pretty old. I don't know what it is. It appears to be copper or some similar alloy. And it may have broken off of something. This may just be a piece of something, but it looks very old. If you have any ideas on this one in the comments, let me know, because I have no idea on that one. But it looks like it has a lot of age on it. Been slow going right now. I'm starting to lose daylight. I probably got maybe 20 minutes or so left. And right here I got a decent signal. I think the rain helped this one because it's really moist. It's a little, a little bit goopy in this section. But this is kind of the line on the edge of where the spread out stuff is versus the path. And I did up and down here pretty good the other day, but I obviously missed this one. I went down, I don't know, probably 3 inches there, and pulled out this really grimy looking disc. It's got mud all over it, and I think that is a wheat cent. I can't see the memorial on the back. I can tell Lincoln's on the front there. Yeah, that's the front. There's probably got to be an Indian head penny in here too somewhere, considering I found randomly some old stuff in here. There could even be an 1800 silver in here somewhere randomly. I'll clean it up later, but I'm almost 100% positive that's a wheat penny. Interesting find here. I'm trying to figure out if this is concrete. I thought this was a rock at first, but this might be concrete, but has something carved in it, and this doesn't look fresh because it's weathered over, so it's not from like the excavator claw or something. But that's a pretty unique find. But yeah, this looks like a conglomerate of concrete. Very interesting. Might set this aside. Got any answers? Put them in the comments. This is definitely something the rain uncovered. You can see a little channel right here where the water was running down. I think I just got some type of really old tool. This is iron, so I would have discriminated this out with my detector. I'm not digging anything this big. That is interesting. That has definitely been down there for a very, very long time. All of a sudden, I'm finding a bunch of stuff that I need answers in the comments. I may know what this is by the time I post the video, though. Well, that's gonna weigh me down. I'm gonna have to set it somewhere and grab it on my way back to the car. It's funny, it's the same color as the ground. You can't really see it too well unless, there you go, I hold it out there. Just everything blends in with this backdrop being all clay. I probably skipped this before because it was a thunky signal right on top, thinking it was trash. I don't know, this almost looks like some sort of metal comb. Maybe it was in a case or something, because this piece was with it too. It's aluminum. At first I thought it might be an old harmonica, but it doesn't look right like it. Very odd. I can't believe what just happened. I'm here in the front of the skull, well, the front of the side wing, and that's where I'm parked, right where the light is, where I've been doing my wrap-ups the last few days. I decided to hit this edge really good because it's really close to the skull. And actually, you can't really see it now, but it's the, well, you can't hardly see it, but you can see this is the line where they started tearing out the side of the grass. And so I figured, well, I mean, there could be stuff buried in there, so, you know, just swing low and slow and see what happens. I got a signal right down in the hole there. It was kind of coming in once in a while like a coin, but it was chopping out, so I figured it was just going to be a piece of trash. I got down 3 inches, and let me take you over by the light here. I thought when I saw this, it was just going to be modern, because it was really shiny, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe it was just a newer one close to the top that they buried. But here it's actually a 1964, last year, silver dime. And there's a bunch of iron or some kind of junk in the hole because it cuts out now. Some sort of ferrous material in there. So yeah, this was just masked really badly. But anyway, running out of daylight, but I got the street light here, so I'm gonna hit this area a little bit more. Okay, I'm finished hunting. Right where they started scraping the topsoil off on the edge of the skull there, I worked it real good after I found that silver dime for another 10 minutes or so in the dark. I was able to pop out 3 more coins. I got a nickel from 1984, and then 2 pennies that are a little bit older, a 1966 and a 1964, same year as the silver dime. And this one was pretty deep in the softer soil, so they took, you know, them just taking the topsoil, you know, with the grass layer off, and I was able to get deeper and start hitting some of these that you couldn't get previously. So that's it for today. I'll see you on the next hunt.